What's going on, you guys? My name's Ty Knots and welcome to Top 5 Unknowns. 5 Shocking Inmate Reactions Part 2. Number 5. For this first clip, the case was kept relatively private, so there isn't a whole lot of information surrounding it. However, a 19-year-old named Anthony Rodriguez was sentenced to 30 years in prison back in 2013. His sentence was given after he was found guilty of sexual assault of a deaf woman from Bakersfield. He nearly got away with the crime too, though a trace of his DNA was found at the crime scene, definitively tying him to the assault. Take a look at his reaction as his sentencing was read.
It was the outburst that shocked the courtroom.
Feel good about it? Won't throw me away?
Anthony Rodriguez had just turned 18 and was on probation when he was arrested for sexually assaulting a 25-year-old woman at MLK Park.
I think that it was a crime of opportunity. I truly think that she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
The victim was taken 105 feet, dragged from outside the park and into the MLK Park men's bathroom where she was assaulted.
One of the really more poignant moments during the trial was that she signed no. She was signing no to him when he was sexually assaulting her.
You
give a young kid like that 30 years to life, chances are you're not going to see that kid again.
With tears in his eyes, Rodriguez yelled profanity, calling the ruling unfair.
That's all you do? Throw people away like that?
Mr. Rodriguez, down now.
Rodriguez has previous arrests for acts of violence, but nothing sexual. His family feels his sentence was a bit extreme.
He don't deserve life. He don't. There's something. I believe there's something wrong, that they shouldn't have gave him this. There's something wrong that, about things they didn't bring out in court.
Number 4. A man from Michigan recently broke down in court after being told he'd be sent to prison for life without the possibility of parole. This is due to the fact that he abused his girlfriend's 4-year-old son to death, essentially crushing him with his bare hands. The man had previously been found guilty of numerous drug and gun charges, but this is the first one to ever land him in federal prison. Take a look at a clip from his emotional outburst while in court.
The details of the case. You really just want to talk with your attorney?
The man accused of abusing a 4-year-old boy, a boy who died, broke down as he was charged with murder. Ellis Nelson Ortiz Nieves is now being held in the Kent County Jail without bond.
So the first count is called felony murder, life without parole.
The 25-year-old suspect broke down when the charges against him were outlined by a judge today.
They're alleging you murdered one Giovanni Miajes. It is called felony murder. It is a felony.
His adult record includes drugs and gun charges, but he has a juvenile record that goes back 13 years before he even became a teenager. He also has charges of car theft, shoplifting, assault with a weapon, receiving and concealing stolen goods. At the mobile home near Kentwood where Giovanni died, there were numerous stops by Kent County investigators and CPS over the past 4 years. Yesterday, the father of Giovanni's half-siblings told us he had contacted authorities.
Who did you call?
I've called the cops, have been involved, CPS multiple times have been involved, the school was involved.
But nothing rose to the level where courts would step in and remove the children.
Number 3. In 2013, a young man was given a life sentence without parole after he was found guilty of taking the life of an older woman, 78-year-old Barbara Olson. Barbara was his great-grandmother who lost her life after being bludgeoned with a hammer and hatchet. His motive behind his actions remains a bit unclear, but take a look at his courtroom response after hearing the verdict.
Instead of starting his freshman year in high school, 14-year-old Antonio Barbo will go to prison. He showed varying emotions in court, at times wiping tears from his face. Then Barbo smirked and shook his head when the prosecutor spoke. He read only a few words from his own statement.
There's a lot going around said by the news, DA, and many other people that I'm a cold, heartless, careless killer. And that's not true.
Barbo pled no contest and was convicted of killing his great-grandmother. He and his friend bludgeoned Barbara Olson to death with a hatchet and hammer. The prosecutor says the boy stole $150 and used the cash to buy pizza and pot.
They really don't care about rehabilitation. They just want to put them away so they can't, they understand the seriousness of the crime.
Barbeau will almost certainly start his prison sentence at the Department of Corrections, Lincoln Hills School for Boys, north of Wausau.
Has this crime indeed divided your family?
Yeah, yep, sure has. It sure has. Big time.
Number 2. A man from Castle Rock was recently sentenced to 160 years in prison after leading police on a 60-mile car chase that resulted in the injury of a state trooper. During the sentencing, audio recordings were played that showed that the man, Ryan Stone, showed no remorse for his actions and was actually heard bragging about them, displaying complete disregard for his injured victim. In all, he was found guilty of 18 separate charges, including first-degree assault and even child abuse. Check out a clip from his sentencing.
A high-speed chase through 5 metro Denver counties. At times, cars were ditched and drivers thrown out the door. At one point, a 4-month-old boy was strapped in a back seat.
Yeah, my lawyer told me I made the news in the UK and Australia.
For the first time since last year's chase, we are seeing a jailhouse conversation. Driver Ryan Stone hoped to profit from his internet fame after the video was posted online.
You get paid by YouTube. So, Channel 7 News, I believe, is going to be the one that gets paid for that. Well, I'm going to contact Channel 7 News.
During his sentencing in court, Stone made an apology, yet wouldn't take responsibility, blaming his escapade on drugs. He asked the judge to give him a break.
I pray you leave me time to start a family of my own with my beautiful wife.
That didn't happen. Stone was sentenced to 160 years in prison.
Those angels up there actually pulled me out of the way.
Trooper Bellum and he almost died. Stone struck him while he was trying to throw out stop sticks.
I proudly wear this badge, and I want to continue to be able to do so, to be able to return to full active duty in the next couple of months.
A crime spree caught from the sky, ending with a career criminal going nowhere but prison.
This guy is a menace, and he is gone from us now, and we are better for it.
Number 1. A young man was convicted of taking the life of a film student, and while attending his sentencing had to be tackled to the ground, pepper sprayed, and restrained after hearing he would receive life in prison without parole. In his outburst, he began screaming, "I hate you," to the members of the courtroom, further displaying what the judge called a complete lack of impulse control. Take a look at the terrifying footage from the courtroom.
21-year-old UWM student Nathan Potter was shot to death in a robbery last July as he walked to his River West apartment after a night out. He wasn't carrying any money.
Judge, there's nothing that can be said to bring back our Nathan. But your sentence can ensure that Shondell does not have the opportunity as a free man to inflict pain like this again. Is there such thing as pure evil? We think so.
At his sentencing today, 19-year-old Shondell Jackson was facing a mandatory life term for pulling the trigger, but hoped for a chance at parole, a hope dashed by Judge Rebecca Dallett, who gave him life without parole, sparking the outburst. It all started when Jackson turned towards the Potter family, something deputies were watching for. At the sentencing today, prosecutors played this 12 News video of Jackson's February conviction, when Jackson gestured to the Potter family several times, cursed at them, and as he was let out of court, our camera caught him smiling at the victim's family.
We see how evil Shondell is in court, looking at us, swearing at us, and smiling.
The judge said Jackson's past behavior in court influenced his getting the maximum sentence. Jackson's angry family members today shouted support to him as he was led away, and one screamed at Potter's family as she left the courtroom.
Our little girl was afraid. She was afraid that he was going to try and kill one of us. She was afraid.
You know, I hope as he spends the rest of his life in jail, that he comes to terms with it and does value human life, and that there is some redemption for him at some point. But that's totally up to him. And for his family to say to us, "We hate you," what's that all about? We didn't do a thing to him.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to click that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep updated with our videos.